we are here and we are live and it's your birthday.
Oh, now?
We are live and it's your birthday, but we're coming in early for everyone. Thank you for joining us. It is Kristi's birthday. It's her birthday month, to be fair. Is it actually her birthday? Some people would argue no, but that's just science.
I didn't know until today that you actually have a whole month for your birthday. Nobody told me. Nobody told me that you get a month for your birthday and that you can also do anything you want on the day of your birthday.
I don't really like that. There's not really, clearly there's been conspiracy around your birthday.
Conspiracy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone who cared about your birthday would toast to you right now. So to your birthday.
This is supposed to be before we go live.
This is exactly that. To your birthday. Merry birthday.
Oh, thank you.
There's a few things we're going to cover. I'm going to interview you on a couple things. I mean, there are a couple tags that I think we can hit on right now. How do you feel first up before we get any further
about consciousness? I'm kidding.
Ooh, tag. We just hit one of our bingos. So we've covered consciousness. That's possibly a tag right now. What, if anything, is your opinion about the cosmology of your birthday?
I have none. And this is what. I know other Libras.
Okay.
They ain't nothing like me.
Okay. We're going to go straight on it?
I'm just saying.
Okay. Keep it real?
I mean, if we're keeping it real.
Oh.
I know a lot of Libras.
Okay.
I know I'm not the only Libra.
Okay.
And we're nothing alike. So it's like, sure. I mean, maybe, are they generalized?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Is it generalized? Am I
you mean like
fierce competitor because I'm a Libra?
No.
Or am I just, is that in my genetics?
All right. So here's the thing. Cosmology, right? So we're referencing all these, when we think of the stars and we think of the planet, we think of this stationary thing that's spinning around the sun, right? Mm-hmm. And the sun's not moving. In reality, the whole galaxy is moving, the sun's moving. So there's this new diagram, which we don't need to upscreen for everyone, but for everyone listening, the sun's traveling and all the planets are spinning around the sun and the whole thing's moving. And that is also representative of our galaxy and of our basically the universe. So everything is not where it was a second ago, let alone going back to the future. Sorry, right. Popping everyone's bubble. It's not happening, right? So, okay. So would then the cosmology be relevant to just like Jupiter and Saturn? Do you think maybe the frequency and energy between the planets is different or changing with the fact that we're moving through the ether? Like the whole planetary system is moving collectively with the galaxy and the universe. And does that negate cosmology, or is cosmology really, and I don't think this is a particular question of cosmology. The question is then on your gut instincts on your birthday month, which is what needs to be celebrated for all those listening that haven't celebrated your birthday for a month. But here's how it looks. You have the relationship between the planets themselves not changing too much. Like, yeah, we could argue some inches or feet or something, right? So do you think what people are doing am I answering my own question? Is it that the cosmology is relational only to the planets around us, so it doesn't matter where we are in space and time? Or does it kind of negate the whole thing? Because
I don't know. What if we throw in one more element?
What?
What about how our collective consciousness affects all of the things too? How our collective consciousness affects, because if you think about it, when you break it all the way down, and I don't know this, I'm just following a thread here. I haven't thought this through. This is real-time processing. So no judgment. It's
your prerogative.
No judgment. So how, like as we, the more and more of us wake up and we contribute to the collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, that naturally we raise the
that's my
party foul.
Yeah.
Naturally we raise not just our individual vibration, but the vibration of the collective and also the planet. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we raise the vibration of the planet itself. Like the more and more of us wake up collectively, the frequency on the planet
would be changing or unifying, maybe.
Yeah, maybe both, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't that be the case on multiple planets? And if that is the case, and maybe energy affects the way I don't know, the way cosmology flows through time.
I think you're onto something, because there's no way. Okay then. Well, you might as well say something.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
All right.
Anyways, back to it.
I kind of figured there'd be some stuff showing up.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to switch over. So for those listening, it's like, it is technically your birthday. It's birthday month. So I guess other people are acknowledging.
I love, being called out on the show. It's so fun.
Why not?
I don't know. Anyways, moving on.
So yeah, you're all right. So the cosmology of things, I think the frequency and energy and all the things, if you have collective consciousness, is going to be absolutely affected if people are tuned, if the planet, if the systems, if the conscious systems of this planet, from the smallest to the biggest thing, are symphonic, then why would it not sound?
Well, if everything's a being, if everything's a living being, like it's rumored that the sun is alive.
Oh, really?
If all of just what Earth is, right?
Okay, well,
Earth is a living being. If Earth is a living,
you're talking about like Mother Nature.
Yeah, I'm talking about the planet itself. It's alive.
What's interesting about that? Like, what if everyone thinks of Mother Earth? I don't think I've ever said this on any show ever, but what if the Earth itself is not? What if it's more like a single cell amoeba? What if it's like this really simplex nothing? What if it doesn't have any brain at all? What if it has programming? What if it's alive on a very, very base level? But what if, in quotes, Mother Earth? What if the planet itself is not conscious?
Do you think it's a system? Wouldn't it be a system? It's a complex system of organisms that live on it and in it, right?
Well, yeah, but think of it this way: like a computer board. Here's how I think of it. Any computer motherboard, it has pathways in it that allow the computer to throw electrons into memory or to travel around the computer board. But the motherboard itself is just the freeway. The motherboard is just that green board that everybody sees inside a computer, right? So what if that's the Earth and it has those systems, but it's not what's it's the board. What's the intelligence within, or what's the CPU in it, is the bacterial networks, the other networks that are Pando, stuff like that.
So let's be clear, though, this is coming from somebody with like this type of a background. Though, I mean, you're comparing like a motherboard to.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I was in network computing and computing for a while.
So it makes sense that you would compare the.
Well, okay, let me give you another comparison. It's kind of like, okay, you have a car, someone drives it. I mean, the car is electrical and it gets you somewhere and it's everything, but it's just a mechanical component, right?
Sure.
So I was trying to think of, here's the thing. You pointed something out about the Earth in general, and I wanted to jump to the analogy so there's bacterial and fungal networks, and there's things like Pando that are massive living organisms around the world. Because Pando can't be the only one. There's got to be more. It's just we don't know what they are. And so all these different networks of living creatures and things and programs they're not programs like a computer, but they're just living entities, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all around. You
mean like individual networks of organisms, like trees, forests, things like that? Okay.
So they're living on the planet and they're conscious, but the planet itself is more like the motherboard. It's just a platform to like put your drinks on, like an end table.
You don't think it's like a higher consciousness than individual trees?
Well, no.
Or because wouldn't you assume that like an individual tree, just like humanity itself, there's individual consciousness and there's collective consciousness, right? And then there's this like source.
So so intelligent design source that creates all living things, like.
Yeah. God, source.
In the middle of, so I'm in the middle
of
the
infinite.
That's way more foreboding than it is interesting.
Just anyway.
Say
it again, please, because I forgot. What is it?
I don't know. I think other people saying it. No.
It's my birthday.
Yeah. So I think that take Michael Cremo, not just because we're going to be doing the Forbidden Archaeologist podcast, but I'm reading Extreme Human Antiquity, and I am smack.
Side note.
as a side note, I'm in the middle of the vascular system, the eye, how the eye works, our vascular system.
Oh, are you comparing it to the cosmos right now?
I'm about to, yeah.
Yes, do it. Tie the two together. I was recently pondering this idea in my mind because I read something about I read something recently that was doing that, comparing the eye to the cosmos. And then just a couple weekends ago, I was at my sister's house and I was babysitting my nieces.
Okay.
And I had one of my nieces has these eyes that are just stunning.
Okay.
They're just stunning. They're blue on the outside. They're like bronze around the pupil. They're just starbursty everywhere. They're just beautiful eyes. And so I was making her stare at me like a weirdo. She's like, God, KK, you're so weird. And I know, but I'm stare at me. So I'm just looking at her eyes. And that's what I was thinking was I was looking at her eyes, looking for like, the galaxies in her eyes, not literally, but I'm thinking like, I'm trying to make a connection between the two. So tell me what you know.
Well, okay. So to keep everyone interested, not checking out, this is going to be hard. I'm going to I'll touch on it, but it's crazy. The Cremo gets into how the eye actually sees, which sounds like a funny thing, but the actual process going on chemically with the actual electrons, photons, what's actually coming into the eyes, how the eye processes an image, what's actually going on is so stupidly complex. And that's interesting enough. But the issue is in the idea of what he's making a point on, and this is what he's touched on, is in the idea of evolution. And this is about intelligent design or God or that there's no way this is random, which there's no way it's random. There's 100 chemicals and things that have to come together to make a half of a DNA sequence. There's another 100 that have to come together for the other half in order to make a single strand of intelligent DNA that would make life. The possibility of the two halves of the two things that would make the 200 chemistries come together exactly in the right way is impossible. There's no in the infinity of the universe. Do you remember that? Yeah, no. Do you remember that thing I sent you, 206 seconds that will change your perspective?
Yeah.
It's like that. But it's like there's just no way. So the eye, the way that it actually, and the vascular system. So with the eye, what it comes down to is step by step, he takes you through exactly the steps that anything that your mind sees, what your eye has to do to dump in billions of seconds to process and take on every single image. It's insane. It's insane. It's like, and then there's no evolutionary reason. It's like, well, if you see, you can look around. Yeah, but there's literally to go from any, let alone a single-celled entity with just two strands of DNA to just make a thing makes no sense. But then once you make a thing, they're like, we should make eyes. Makes zero sense. And the vascular system, the way blood clots work, the way clotting works, when you get cut, the fact that the clotting system, so there's a couple things. So when you cut yourself, obviously it clots up eventually, hold your whatever, and it eventually stops, right? The thing is that your body, there is no reasoning behind why your body knows that chemistry to clot your blood in order to stop up a wound should continue and then just stop your heart. It should just clog all your blood, but it doesn't. There's signaling and things going on that is clogging up the one point. You're like, oh yeah, the one point clogs. Oh no, the system is global and the system is functioning intelligently in such an insane way to clog the one spot, whatever it is, versus your heart, versus your brain. It's not, and they don't, and the key thing about the vascular, the eye, and then there's some other DNA systems. It's pretty exciting, but it's like it's not possible that it wasn't intelligent.
So what's the connection between the eye and the cosmos?
So from the idea of a creator, from the idea of this not being random, the idea that this planet, we've talked about abiogenetic and genetic oil, right? And is it man-made, or is it engineered? Is petroleum engineered, or is it random? And is the entire system of organic life something that is intelligent? If so, then you have a cosmic force. You have to. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
The complexity of the individual systems. But the idea of every computer, the reason I'm going back to the computer is because if you screw Microsoft, or I mean, what I mean is that if your software explodes, whatever everybody works on to do their work and to go on the internet, if that doesn't work, you go into a safe mode, which looks a bit sometimes like the operating system you use, but the safe mode goes into the BIOS, which is the programming of the circuit of the circuit of the motherboard. It's a base circuitry so that you can function within the box you call the computer, and then you can load a new software onto it or something. And that's the point of the BIOS. So the base operating code. So if we think of the planet as having base operating code, and that if all life on it is extra, is the base operating code of the planet could function without anything on it, great. But life on this planet is actually so complex. It's not just that that statement in everyone's imagination, I could right now say every creature is unique and every human's unique. And you can imagine that and you think, oh, that's really incredible. And not trying to just stick on Cremo, but what they're trying to talk to within the cosmos, the idea of a divine entity of conscious, intelligent desire, design, not creating all the life to work the way it all works together, the way it all functions. And we could always argue that it's not quite working well together right now. I mean, I think the last stat I heard about, we discover 2,500-3,000 species a year. Meanwhile, we apparently lose about the same.
Right.
I don't know where they're coming up with the number. They're just guessing.
So do you think it's possible that we're code?
I think that in the way that we primitively understand code, I think everybody wants to jump to. There's a big button around. Are we in the matrix? Are we in a matrix?
Clearly, we're in a matrix.
Yeah, but I think. What do you think?
Do I think we're code?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that whatever it is that we are, I think we could be. I think why does it have to be one or the other? Maybe we are code, but maybe we can also be, I don't know, something else at the same time. We can be amazing spiritual beings at the same time, but also like in this experience, we're written code. I don't know what we are. I don't have all the answers, but I know that there are things, I got really into, NDEs I'll say recently, a couple years ago. I dove into near-death experiences and reading all about it and all that stuff.
Okay.
And I read a story, watched a story, I can't remember, watched, heard, whatever, about a woman who had an NDE who, in her tunnel of light, that a lot of people experience, that tunnel of light, she saw ones and zeros.
Oh, that's weird.
Right?
Like in a row? Like on a...
I mean, like ones and zeros, like code.
Yeah, but did they see like...
I mean, like her
tunnel
of light, the only way I can think of it described, her tunnel of light would just be like ones and zeros, like along the side. All I could think of when I was listening to the story was just being in a tunnel, and on the sides of the tunnel of light, you just see ones and zeros. I don't know. So
my imagination, I see ones and zeros in white, and the background's black.
Yeah.
Or is it? That's what
I see. Yeah. I don't know what she saw. She didn't. I don't think she explained it in that. If she did, I don't remember. But and then recently I went to Columbia and sat with plant medicine, and on the last day, I went really, really deep, and everything was pixelated, and I know clearly that there's active ingredients in my body that are inducing, other effects. And so it's really hard to decipher between what's real and what's not. But in that experience, I know what I saw. And it was like everything was, you were solid, but also pixelated. Everything was pixelated. It was so strange. It was really bizarre, but it was like I could almost just swipe my hand through you. I couldn't, but it felt like I could just swipe my hand right through you. It was really weird, but everything was pixelated. It was just very strange.
Do you
I
wonder
don't know.
if that was?
So,
Do you think that was external, or what if we are extremely? We look at it. Yeah, we're organic, and we think of the hard machines in front of us, like our mics or these computers and things or chairs we're sitting on. What if the ones in what if you are the code, and so what if what's being scrambled is because you
what if the physicality is the code?
Like
what if the physicality is the code? You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about the chairs we're sitting in, the furniture we're sitting on. It's only solid because of all of the matter involved in the making, right? But when you break it down to the smallest element under a microscope, it's nothing but like freaking air. Just space and air. So, but you're somehow sitting on it solidly.
Yeah. So we are. So there's a point where we are enough of something where it has boundaries, it has rules that they're not going to pass. Like, there's something within the ether that like you said, within the matrix, that defines what you can stand on, what you can't fly on, what you can or what you can fall on, or whatever. There's there's rules,
parameters, like code.
So if you took enough of a substance of any kind, is it really scrambling what's outside of you, or is it scrambling what allows you to function?
So that's the question, is when you ingest psychedelics and you have these experiences and you experience something that's like, is this real? Is this not? What I'm seeing real or not? And the veil sort of gets fuzzy. You know what I mean? And then you don't really know. So, but you just know what you feel, like what your intuition, what your gut, what your, I don't know, just what your knowing is. But that's sort of the question, right? At the end of the day, is exactly that. Like what's the solidity of it? Like so if is it me because I'm on a, plant medicine, am I able to see through the veil? Or is it because am I seeing something that is real, or are the psychedelics clearing my mind so that I can see? Or is it blurring the lines a little bit?
Or scrambling your the way you've been programmed to function, the vessel you're in.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, is it clearing the lines so I'm able to see? Like, is that what's happening? Is it sort of dissolving the veil a little bit? Because that's what happens ultimately when you're on it. But there's a difference between like your internal experience and your external experience, in my experience, I think. I mean, every time that you sit with it, it's different, but like just the last one was the most profound I've experienced to date. And that was the first time I ever like felt like I was watching something externally around me that felt real, but in my real mind, I'm questioning, is that real, or is this, you know what I mean? I'm questioning it, but my knowing inside me was like, this looks completely normal to me. Well, everything's pixelated around me, but for some reason I'm like, yeah, this is normal.
Let me ask you something about, you've done this a few times on a couple different trips. Was this last trip very different in that awareness than the first one, or was it similar?
Very different.
Okay.
In that, what do you mean in that awareness?
Well, specifically just around what we're talking about, like pixelating or.
Oh, very different. In the first trip, I didn't completely surrender. And because it was my first one, I was super anxious. The second one completely surrendered. So it was a very different experience.
So you didn't, like, nothing pixelated?
In the first one, no. Just terror, pure terror. That's all.
Not laughing.
No, it was not. There was no, I didn't feel any love. Just pure terror.
Okay. So did you hear of anyone else's experience without revealing, specifics? Was there anyone else who had that experience?
Of pure terror or pixelated?
No pixelation or like that.
I don't know.
Just curious.
Nobody on that specific trip said anything about anything being pixelated other than myself, I think.
Okay.
But I would be interested to know if that is an experience that other people have had.
Yeah. You can
probably find a Reddit thread. Pixelated ayahuasca.
All right. That's a possibility. So would you do it? Do you feel like in order for you to see that, was it too far? Was it feel like you banged on the blinky board? Do you think you again, do you think you saw that space because it was the last day? I think the last day was more challenging than most, or like really, really. Do you think maybe it was?
I couldn't get there. The first experience, I was too scared to go deep. The second experience, retreat, I was looking for it. I was ready. I wanted to get there, but I couldn't. And it was you recently. Actually, you and Aaron had a discussion because I have a hard time with all things like that. And so recently you were trip sitting for me while I was looking for a fun mushroom journey. And well, not fun, but whatever that journey's going to be. And it just doesn't ever happen for me. I can't ever get there. And so, and Aaron said, because I don't let go. Yes. And when he said that, that's what made me think, oh, maybe that's the problem that I had.
You, in fact, you were very specific. Yeah, you said you thought that was your.
Yeah, that was the catch, I think, on the previous journeys, and then that very last one, I just I wanted to get there, so I was dedicated.
I wonder if there's a balance between being able to like discipline or work. I don't know how to do it. I'm just wondering. It's like maybe there's a way you let go, but if you maybe there's a balance between like allowing yourself to let go, and then if you hammer it or throttle it too hard, then it redlines your that esoteric experience to a point where maybe the experience is like maybe it's like too much, not that it's too much information too fast, but maybe it's like, again, it's like you have to be able to, in order to really truly hit a sweet spot of where it's most effective.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, well, you have to not redline it, because if you redline it, it's like you're seeing things really hot,
right,
in a way that is like not accurate. It's like it's just like way over the top. So maybe there's a balance between, I don't know what kind of meditation or stuff you do, or if it's like, you complement it with a meditation in San Pedro, or if there's like some sort of thing where it's like you hit, I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned San Pedro, because that was something at the first retreat that they alternate Aya with, is San Pedro, which was really interesting because Aya is a feminine plant. San Pedro is a masculine plant.
Pairing.
Yeah. So it was really interesting that they say that ayahuasca shows you, it reveals to you the problems, right, that you need to work on. San Pedro opens your heart and helps you find the answers, the way to heal it. So it was an interesting complementary experience, having Aya with San Pedro being masculine and feminine, and then the two complementing each other. It was really interesting. I thought that was kind of a beautiful thing.
Cool. So not to change on this, but based on all the tags that I threw in for your birthday, one of them would
tags.
Oh, well, no, for everyone watching, it's like, for people to search and decide to be on subject. How do you feel about, well, yeah, because people have to search for a show, right? ArchaeoX or Kristi and Jared, or Jared or Kristi or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a million different tags. So part of my game of interviewing you is like, I'm going to hit on all the tags. You already hit on a bunch.
Okay.
So that's kind of the thing that we're going to.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You just did it. And I was like, hey.
I'm the best guest ever.
You're the host.
I'll just answer all of the questions for you.
As the hostess with the mostest, you can actually say that.
The hostess with the mostest.
You could just, I'm the best. Yeah, you are. No one's going to argue. I mean, there's no one else in the room.
Hostess with the mostest.
So how do you feel then in reference to your birthday?
Okay.
Do you feel ancient? Do you feel ancient?
Yeah, I do.
And I don't mean with your age.
Oh, I know. I do
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. Well, I feel like the older I get, the more I feel like I have lived many lifetimes before this one.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Does anything ever stand out?
What do you mean?
Yeah, just anything does anything ever stand out? Do you ever like go somewhere or stop in a museum or in a gallery or something? Did you ever get drawn to something that you're like, or music or?
I do. And that's going to be really weird and I can't explain it. And I have no experience with this. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why, but like old Chinese art.
Really?
Like old
Really?
Asian art. Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird.
Cool. Okay. The furniture,
no, it's like the grass in Vietnam or something.
Okay. You mean like the rice or like,
yes.
Okay. So some of those
like rice fields.
Okay.
And I don't like boats.
Oh, like boats that are on the rice paddies or boats that are okay.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Not boats like in the ocean. Just
no. Like in the rice.
Okay. This is cool.
It's weird, isn't it?
No, but have you always been drawn to that?
I don't know.
Or
I think it's been in the last few years that I don't even own any of it. Like it's not even anything but I do feel drawn to it. I don't know. That's kind of strange, right? And that's not that it's ancient. That doesn't make me ancient or anything.
No, but so genetic memory. We talked about genetic memory.
Yes.
And so I
think that's what that is.
Yeah. So you could be storing someone else. You could be storing your own memories from something in a great decent in some antiquity.
Yeah.
But you could be having an experience where you're drawn to something because it is you yourself. It's like you're like eternal spirit and all that.
Yeah.
But you've stopped. I've watched you stop in front of, since you're bringing it up. It's like I'm just remembering you've stopped in front of Asian art before. I know this. So you've stopped and said, I really like this picture. And sometimes, and this one in particular was the one
on your birthday.
Yes. Do you remember?
Yep.
So I made a point to take a picture of that picture. Always.
Did you?
Yeah. I got to keep track of stuff. Oh yeah.
What was it?
It was a house. It was definitely either Chinese or Japanese, but it was definitely dated. It was at least, I don't know, 200 something, 400 years old, something. It was old.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an ancient countryside. But you were drawn to it immediately.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I find
it's so fascinating.
Yeah, but I didn't think about it till now. Like, why were you drawn to that? You were like, I really like this. So I made a point to take a picture because, like, from a design build standpoint, a life standpoint, it's like this is something to keep track of.
Yeah.
And because there's no, it could be a lot of layers. It could be the indoor outer, it could be the nature, it could be the right.
It may not be genetic memory. You're right. It may just be I like the scenery.
Oh no, I think it's genetic memory. I absolutely think there's a deep. If you're drawn the way you were drawn to it, I don't think it was just like, oh, I find it pleasant and there's an outdoor space and it's like very clean lines. I don't think that's it. I think you were drawn to it. Like I think there's these. I don't think it was. Say we lived past lifetimes. Mm-hmm. Maybe. What do you think about past lifetimes?
Yeah. So I think that So I am okay. So that's. I don't know do we have past lifetimes or is it parallel?
Or both.
Is it if time is not linear, then would it be past lifetimes or would it just be, No,
I think you bring up a hugely good point. I think us individually could be paralleling multiple lives.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe sometimes they get crossed, or like you said, for instance, sometimes I don't ever say this. You'll say jump timeline. Sometimes it's like I feel, did we jump a timeline?
Yeah.
And then frequently, what my immediate gut mind response is on that, not a response, but like something I just automatically kind of go, oh yeah. In my mind, what's happening is me going, somehow we have this parallel life that we didn't jump over to, but we momentarily like jumped into and saw the whole thing and then jumped back. Or maybe we switched with someone, but it's not that they're not separate or anything, but that they're somehow.
You think it's a conscious thing? You think that in some other timeline we exist in a place where we have an awareness around the ability to jump back and forth, and that we can do that? Like there's a version of us that can do that and body jump into whatever body our soul is in.
I wonder if it's not even so. We're
That's an interesting thought, isn't it? Though,
for sure, because I don't think it would be just that there's other timelines. It's more like we're talking about dimensions, right? That there's simultaneously other the multiverse, right? There's,
yeah.
So and all we can think now is.
Oh no. Okay, so are we talking about dimensions, planes, timelines, universes? What are we discussing here?
Well, how if there's multiple versions of us, and in various versions we're similar but different, that's the multiverse. There's aren't we saying it's kind of the same thing, right? There's so many versions of us all living a life while we're living this life, that this system right now is
so I'm thinking, when you say multiverse, I'm thinking like bubbles.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, bubbles. I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere. It's all about bubbles.
I thought you would immediately know what I was referring to, and then I realized that you didn't, and how funny that would sound for somebody who didn't know.
I've heard about blowing bubbles.
I was talking about when I picture like a multiverse.
You picture bubbles. She's tipping it all of them.
I picture our whole universe in this big bubble.
Oh, different kind of bubble.
And then there's just a bunch of bubbles.
I feel like how you're explaining this is there's a steeple. There's a steeple.
And inside
there's lots of bubbles.
You have all the people.
Bubbles. People bubbles.
Everywhere. You know what I
mean? Yeah, that works. Everyone knows what you mean. Evermore. This is going to be my favorite episode. For those who are listening late at night, if you're out on your trucking route or wherever, traveling across the country, reach out to us. Send us a message. Whatever your thoughts are, we want your feedback.
Oh my God. Like, but you know what I mean, though? Like an egg crate. Full of universes. Like the multiverse. In a crate full of universes.
The multi-egg.
You know what I mean, though? It makes sense, doesn't it?
It's within these eggs. Histoegnomy.
Okay.
There's a lot of chickens.
Okay. Okay. Can you picture what I'm picturing, or am I all alone here?
No bubbles.
No.
I got the bubbles.
Okay, just multiple universes
with eggs.
Bubbles.
And there are multiple versions of us. So it's not like we're going to be
That's exactly right. That was the point, was we're just in another bubble somewhere else.
Would that not make it a other dimension? What's the difference between a dimension, a bubble, or an egg?
You're exactly. That's why I'm asking you. What are your parameters around? What's your definition of dimension versus plane versus timeline?
I don't think they're different, as we're all using. Those are all various tellings of the same experience.
Okay, but hold on a second. So, as we die and evolve.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you think? Okay, hold on. Following a thread here. So, inside the multiverses. Okay, what if they're also planes? What if? Oh my god! What if it's like this? What if it's like this? What if it's like picture a schoolhouse. Why would I say that? It's 2025.
There's a steeple. There's lots of eggs and the bubbles.
Okay, but hold on. I don't want to lose this thought.
Okay.
There's a building, like a school or a hospital.
Perfect.
Whatever we want to call it. It could be a hotel. And let's say this one floor, so the whole thing encompasses all things, right? So all of the multiverses are contained inside of the walls of the hotel. Okay. So each floor, so it's all multiverse. Like it's just multiverses. Okay. But as you die and reincarnate, right? And you come back and evolve. As you evolve, there are different levels inside each. So it's like moving up the hallway inside your hotel, from room 100 to room 105. So you're evolving up, right? That way. Okay. And then you die. And depending on how far you make it up the hallway, then when you die, you come back and you may end up on the 100s. You may get to level up to the 200s. And then maybe you're in 204 and maybe you're in 214. Who knows? It depends on how well you did in the 100s. Okay. So what if the multiverse can also exist with multiple planes of existence? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So each multiverse has its own multiple verses.
Levels of existence. Yes.
I had a thought.
Please share.
Because you helped me think of this. So here's the deal.
Was it my horrible hotel example? And just so everybody knows, we climbed today.
Oh, that hit one of our tags.
Feel like sausages on my hands.
You did really, really amazing stuff today for your. It was.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Or you're welcome. Your fingers are feeling pretty rough.
Yeah.
Okay. They did some seriously. You tried some, and I'm telling you, you did that 112A the other week, and that was hard. This 11D, because so the deal is
that hasn't set in yet, and we're gonna segue back. But we're gonna come back to that. Right. We're gonna come back to whatever we were talking about before. But right now we're talking about the 12A. I still feel because when I roped into that, I was gonna climb. It was the 510. It was also the 510 route. So it's 510 and 512, right?
Yep.
And I was gonna do the purple 510. And you were like, so which one are you gonna do? And I was like, the 510. And you were like, why don't you do the 512? And I was like, because it's a 512.
Yeah, 12A versus a 10B or something.
And I was like, because it's a 512. Why would I do that? And you're like, just do it. And, I guess I was in a mood. And I was like,
yeah, okay.
I'm going to do it.
So here was my other sell point that came to my mind right away. My other sell point was I had looked at the holds. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, these holds. Because I knew those holds from other routes. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't a single hold going up that wall where it's like, these holds. You're going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that you'll get familiar with the different holds, right? That's a whole nother nerd layer. But you were like, I looked at the holds and I'm like, these holds, you can do this.
Yeah.
And you did exactly that. You crushed it. And then you fell twice at one spot. I fell 5 times.
But for some reason, I have this doubt inside myself
Yeah.
that I could do it again.
It's a scary thing. Like, oh my gosh, I actually did it. The first time I did anything hard like that, I'd be like, oh God, I don't think I can do that again. It's like, how did I do that?
Yeah,
feeling,
but
right?
well, I didn't. There was no intention behind what I was
No.
doing. Like I walked up with the intention of doing the 510. You were like doing
Yeah.
512, and I was like, okay. So I was doing it just to thinking like this is
Yeah.
going to be fun.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we're going to watch me fall all the way down the wall.
No, you just crushed it.
I know, right? But then it's like that can't be a 512.
No, it was.
That's how I feel. I'm like, there's no way I did that.
There's a great, like, super funny climbing video where it's all the climbers' excuses, but it's actually they're all true. And one's like, "This route doesn't play to my strong suits. This one's too chalky."
And I feel like I say that. I did in the beginning. I said that all the time. I was like, "I'm not tall enough," which I still say that.
Well, but then again, it's
I think I said that last week.
But I'm
not
like,
tall enough.
Like, take the route that we were ending on, which we can come back to. But it's like, again,
that 511.
It was an 11D.
Today.
Yeah, which makes it okay. So for everyone listening, a 10A, B.
We ran out of time for everyone listening. I wasn't defeated by the wall. I was not defeated by the wall. I just want to make it clear that I was not defeated by the wall. We ran out of time.
No, but it's also projects. So like for everyone,
I'm excited to go back and do it again.
Yeah, look, for those that don't know, climbing is rated 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. If there's a dot. But the point is when you get to 5.10, you go A, B, C, D. And there's a definite difference between a D and an A. And a B and a C, there's a difference. So she was going to do a 10A, B, and so 10A, A, B, C, D, 11A, B, C, D, 12A is significantly beyond a 10. So at a 10A, I mean, B, C, D, 11A, B, C, D, 12A, you were 8 levels above a 10 where you were.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Like, so here's the thing. You're doing this 11D and again, okay. So here's the thing. 11A, a crux when you set it can be 11B or 11C.
Yeah.
So, or a 12. If you have a 12A, then the crux is a 12B or C.
Right.
So when you get to whatever the crux is, right? But based on your height, it's like, I just cannot make some of those holds. So they're like super small.
Yeah.
So I have to do different. But you got on this other route today. It's 11D, but it's like, okay, fine. The crux can be still a 12B.
Right.
But the way the route was structured, and I just knew that I was too tall. I knew I was too tall. I mean, I knew I was going to get it, but I was like, I was going to have to muscle in places that you didn't.
Which part?
Well, like that first spot where there's that awful transition, like, you know, you lean in and then you grab that next hold, but you have to switch and grab this way, you know, so you have to go from leaning this way to leaning that way.
Yeah.
You were the right height to be able to grab.
Yeah.
And for you, you because of your height, for you didn't have like my way that I would have had to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I muscled through it kind of is that I would have had to like twist and turn, and I was able to go up, but you just could make you just
make
could,
the move.
Yeah, you could do it because you didn't have all the extra height to like turn. You just were able to like, I'm like, whatever. It's like,
yeah, but I couldn't make that last one, which brought me off the wall because I got tired of jumping and missing, and that's why my hands are all torn up.
Yeah, but
anyway, so let's segue back to like cool things like consciousness.
No, yeah. Well, we were left with the multiverse, and we were talking about here was some of my thoughts. One is like if you die in all these different versions of you, right? So there's these timelines always have to be divergent, I think, because some people get hit by cars, and some people, you know, like they're not all living. You yourself are not existing in all the timelines the same way, right?
Right, like not the same level of vibration in each timeline, right?
So here was the question. This gets us to one of the things you made me think of.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy to anyone who believes in karma or believes in reincarnation or leveling up. The idea is, you have an experience in this world, and then you change, you move, you level up, right?
Right.
Okay. So here's another idea. What if you never level up?
Ooh.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain it. What if the analogy has been entirely wrong about the point is you live your life, and then what you do is you like learn all these things, and then you become this more conscious, awake. In my mind, it's like you become more engaged, more connected, more easily able to absorb knowledge, more able to live, more connected. There's these things that are like, okay, therefore I'm going to be more vital, my vitality, the way I live life.
Right.
Right. So what if that actually, it's never occurred to me until now because of what you're talking about. What if we never change? What if like a violin, we're just better tuned? What if every time we come back, it has nothing to do with us being a different shape, a different strength, maybe even more connected within the consciousness of the ether? What if, okay, I take that back. What if the tuning is that based on your prior life experience? What if you just come back as a sharper knife, a more tuned instrument? What if you're still playing, and you're still the same you're playing new or the similar music, but your strings are maybe stronger, your bow is better, your ability to play is better, or be the instrument is better. But what doesn't change is you don't go from being okay. I think the most primitive idea would be is I was really bad, so now I'm a grasshopper instead of a human being or something. Like the idea of like a sentient existence, that we're okay. Well, the next time I come back, I'm going to be in a white robe. Or
well, do you think that we have a choice though? Because I think that, to your point, and what you're saying is, like, in order to answer your question, I would have to ask you, do you think that we have a choice in our experience here? Because maybe we have like a soul contract, like maybe our soul has a contract when we decide to incarnate, and we come down here with a contract of, like maybe before we come down here, maybe we say, okay, well, in order for my soul to evolve to, the point that I would like to get at, or, whatever, like maybe we check off experiences from an a la carte menu. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to sign up for, or maybe it's like, I want to reach this, like, I think I can read, it's kind of like when I walk up to the wall. Like, I can walk up to a wall and I can look at it and gauge at this point without even seeing any grades. And I can say, I can probably take that wall. You know what I mean? And so maybe, but when I first started climbing, if I'm honest, with no ego, I would walk up to any wall and have no clue if I could climb it or not. Right. So maybe when we come down here, I say down here because it's
always up there.
Yeah, everything's out there or whatever, when really everything's in here. But
no, it's there.
Okay, so whenever we go out there, how about that?
Okay.
So whenever we go out there, maybe we say, okay, so this time I think I can climb a 5'9". And so maybe my life experience is handing me all of the challenges that I need to meet that goal, is giving me all of the opportunity, is maybe all of the experiences that I'm having in life are handed to me based on the goal I set for myself. Maybe I am handing my own self challenges and obstacles and rewards, and I'm setting my own self up and encouraging and guiding and leading my own self on this journey. How do I know my higher self isn't out there, I don't know, guiding me along the path and saying, okay, this is what we decided for ourselves. In this lifetime, we decided we think we can climb a 5'9". So in this lifetime, we are going to present to ourselves all of the challenges and obstacles and love and anger and hurt and all of the things that we have in life and experience and grow through, in order for me to be able to climb that 5'9" before I'm on my way out. And if I don't rise to the challenge by a certain point, I check out. And maybe that's when I get cancer. Maybe that's when I get hit by a train because my battery dies on the tracks. I don't know.
You could just die of old age.
Whatever. Or not. That's the point, though, is maybe I don't make it to that point. Maybe I say, if I don't reach this level by this point, just start me over. I'm going to start over. Let me try again.
So
I don't know. I'm just throwing all that out there. I just follow that thread. It could be completely fizzled up in the flames.
No, I was going to ask you about your gut feeling about it, about whether or not you think that you have a that the universe is that outside of what we're consciously aware of, that there is a design around it where we get to negotiate or have a contract, or I know we're putting it in terms we understand, but there's an assumption that there's some like where do we come up with the idea that, well, there's some sort of heavenly esoteric rules?
I think it's just trying to make sense of this experience and what we're doing here. And when, excuse me, whenever we're born into, a life of conditioning and programming and all of the things, it's hard not to, when you step away from it, not to look at it and ask yourself, like, where did I come from and why? What's the point? And so I think it's like just making sense. It's trying to make sense in our human brains in the best way that we can of like, what are we doing here? And I think that maybe that it resonates differently for each person. But for me, evolution is why we're here. And that is what resonates. And I can read all of the books and I can listen to all of the podcasts and and the documentaries, I can watch all of the things. But at the end of the day, whenever the question is, taking religion, because I've spent time in the church, a lot of time deep in the church. So, when you're at like, why are we here? What are we doing? What's the point? You're born, you live, and you die. And then we have birthdays, right? Every year, and we celebrate those things. But
for weeks,
right? I didn't know that until now. But yeah, so when we start asking ourselves, like, what's the point? Why are we here? What are we doing? What for me, what resonates the most, the deepest is simply evolution. It's the growth of our eternal being, which is connected to all that is, which is all that is. So for me, what resonates is experience. It's living, it's being, it's feeling the sun on your face, the cold water on your hands after a hard climb,
Oh, that's good.
Right? It's like it's holding your baby when they fall and they scrape their knee and they think it's like they're dying. And it's like, we'll just put a little Neosporin and a Band-Aid on it. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
But they're like, this is the end of my life, and it's those moments. It's all of these experiences. It's watching the sunrise and the sunset. Like, it's feeling the breeze on your face. It's planting your feet on the planet. It's all of the things. It's living and laughing and loving and experiencing. It's growing and learning and drinking too much and sleeping too late and eating shit food and then realizing why you shouldn't eat shit food.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all of the things. It's the births and the deaths and the weddings and all of the things that bring the emotions to the surface that help the soul evolve. It's all of that stuff. Like, that's the experience. That's where we evolve. That's where we grow, is in the now and in the being, in the moments, like in the experience of life. Like, when we stop and smell the roses, like, that's the experience. That's where we grow and evolve. And I think that's why we're here.
Did you dream when you were young?
All the time.
Anything in particular?
You mean like repetitive dreams?
Okay, that's a separate question, but let's skip to it. Let's do that one quick. Okay. I mean, not quick, but just, did you have annual or frequent? Do you have recurring dreams that happen annually or biannually, or were they like what kind of recurring dreams? Like, they happen night after night for a week and they would go away, or a month, or what?
No, any dreams that I had that were like from growing up or my childhood, were not ones that I want to remember.
Oh, okay. All right. Were there any dreams that you did like that, or were all right, that were continual or like frequent or not frequent, just repetitive?
Like happy, like good happy dreams? Or
well, we don't need to get into the details of bad ones, but just did you have more than one? That's one thing. Did you have more than one dream that was something that was repetitive over decades or years or?
No, just years as a kid when I was little, when I would fall asleep, and I'm not sure where you're going with it, and so I don't know how to answer it really.
We're gonna get to your birthday.
Okay, so no. So the answer would be no. No.
You never had repetitive?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I had repetitive nightmares, but I never had repetitive. That's where I'm going. I had repetitive nightmares. I never had repetitive positive dreams or like annual dreams where I would like, no.
Okay. Were those nightmares nightly, weekly? Were they the same? Was it like literally like a movie? Was each nightmare like a movie and something that would play every now and then? Or was it over years? Was it just months or weeks?
It was over years and it wasn't every night.
No, like I had annualized dreams. I had a couple dreams that was odd. I don't know why, but I could.
Is this a thing? Because I've never heard of this. Annualized dreams?
Well, either I'm saying annualized, but I would have a couple different thematic dreams, places that I would go. Some people might say it was astral projection or something.
Oh, really? Yeah, on your birthday? You just like go away every year?
Not on my birthday, but yes, annualized. I would have this, I would forget all about it. And I'm like, why am I back here? And I would be in the same place.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it right now. When was this and how long? Is it still happen?
You know what? I have started asking myself why it doesn't.
Because you died. When did it stop?
Well, sometime before that.
Oh my God. Did it stop when you died? Before you died?
Well, you got to wonder, like, what if dying is a really slow process? So what if my blockage, like a lot of people have heart attacks prior to 90%, 80%, like people have heart attacks prior to 100% blockage.
Right. Sure.
I am particularly apparently really good at operating at almost not full speed.
Right.
Or
no speed at all.
Yeah. Like whatever energy is for everyone.
Zero speed.
Yeah, I can literally
You can still just go at zero speed.
At 100%.
Yes.
I can.
At 100% zero speed.
Yes. I can rock it.
You can 100% do nothing.
No, there's like people pushing past their, whatever their limits are. There's just like, you should be you're off. Like we turn the switch off.
For sure.
But somehow you're still making light. Like just I'm running around the carpet, get my feet and like make my own electricity.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But that's the thing. I'm wondering if while my heart blocked up over weeks or months or whatever it was, I wonder if there were other esoteric systems that were like shut down or shutting down or like, hey, look, your soul, like your body's fighting so hard to do these things. Like maybe some of those systems were shutting off. I do wonder that.
Ooh.
I hadn't thought of that until you brought it up. So the reason the reason I brought up recurring dreams, it doesn't have to be annualized. It just had to be like over time. So like I wondered, because I know you told me at one point you could dream, you could get up and you go back to sleep and you could pick up the dream.
It's not just me. My sister and dad can do the same thing.
Yes. So this is genetic. This proves it out. It's genetics, right? But then I thought, okay, I've never asked you about the annualized thing, is because it's your birthday. It doesn't have to be on your birthday. It's like, it doesn't have to be a dream this month. Like put the pressure on, like pick up the old dreams. Like do one tonight.
I don't want to pick up any dream that I used to dream.
No. So I don't want it to be repetitive as a nightmare or anything. But one, you did have repetitive dreams. They were just bad dreams. But yeah, I thought that, again, I don't think we started with cosmology. And on the dream sequencing or parallel lives or multi-dimensions, I don't think that whether you learn, and again, the idea was, I was thinking more while you were speaking about the harmonics of it. Like, what if it's not you do X, Y, Z, so many things right, wrong, or the otherwise, or you develop so much. What if it doesn't mean you change the person? What if you just keep coming back, but you're just more in tune with the symphony?
Mm-hmm.
You're not.
But what if that is what it takes to move to the next level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what if every time that we come back, or, because I think that some lives, what if we just decide to delete ourselves at a certain point? What if at some point we just were like, no, just delete, no, thank you. I don't want to be that version of myself. So take me out. No thanks. I want to start over.
Well, you know what's interesting about that is I think when we think of God and we think, hey, God, I don't want to come back. So on one hand, it's like, I want to come back as something else or whatever. Like the idea that there's a negotiation, that there's a possibility that we have an option in it, right? That we have choices. There's that's an interesting thing. Like, does the universe pretty much say, look, I have had this question itching at me forever, and you're not quite, I'm not sure yet. So I want you to keep going. Or like the universe itself, if consciousness, if God is, well, it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be, I guess I'm not trying to reduce God to it's not a religion or a system or the universe itself as a collective single system, but it does make me wonder if the entirety of the universe is conscious and we represent a question, each of us, and we're like, oh man, this sucks. Well, I don't want to come back, or I don't want to do this.
So like that's our purpose, is we have, each of us are a question from source.
And we as individuals have choices that have nothing to do with the question that the universe has. But in the end, at some point, does the universe go, get back on track? I still have this question and you haven't answered it. And, live the life. Would you live the life for me, please? Give me the answer. You're not there. Or is that what happens? Do some of the things that we find randomly in our life? It's like, oh, I just won the lottery. It's because it's like, oh man.
Well, and you have to ask yourself too, like, how does this, and manifesting integrate?
Exactly. And happy birthday from Jeff from up north.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you.
So one more time on the question.
So we're talking about like possibly being God, being one with God, having God-like abilities, right? Like when we haven't said that yet, but basically when we're saying,
you just threw it down. You threw it down right now. You put a flag right in that.
Well, there it is. So maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know. I'm just whatever. Like, don't want to step on any toes.
No.
But this is where we are. Okay. So this is where we are.
Eggs and balls.
Manifesting. So I think that there is, when we think about what we're doing here, we have a purpose, right? There obviously is a reason why we're here. It's not just happenstance. Like, we're not just a random production of, like, I don't know, universal thought. Like, I don't know. We're likely a production of universal thought, but not random. So
yeah,
here we are doing the thing, trying to figure things out. And we're born into this, like, this structure, this rigid, matrix. And then we remove ourselves from the matrix, and then we look back and we're like, oh my God, look what I've been doing. And we realize that we actually have all the power and control of our own life, right? And that we can co-create with the universe. So the question, or not the question, but the struggle therein lies, like, how do we accept ourselves for what we are, remember what we are, like, because maybe that's part of our journey here, is the remembering part. So we have this remembering part, and then this purpose part. Is our purpose to remember?
Okay.
Or is our purpose something else? The remembering happens, or maybe the purpose happens when we begin to remember, is when we realize what the purpose is when we start to remember who we are. Maybe it's twofold. I don't know. But I do think there's this weird recipe for manifesting. I think that Dispenza is definitely nails it when he talks about combining intention with an elevated emotion, right? Sitting with an intention and an elevated emotion, thinking, focusing on what it is that you're wanting to do or create or manifest in your life, and then putting yourself in a position of already being there. So it sounds very simple. It sounds simple. And I think that it is. And I think that maybe we're on to it, like kind of chipping away at it a little bit. Like,
okay, we are
chasing the coattails of manifesting.
Okay.
So I think that we're figuring that out. But how do you feel? What do you think about the power of who we are, remembering who we are, and manifesting or creating our own reality with the knowing of where we come from?
The first thought that I had when you're talking about it is that what if the whole parameters in order for us to evolve individually is that we can't know? The point isn't to remember. Collective consciousness and awareness is different, I think. The idea of living a more conscious life. What if that, again, right now, if you and I could without closing our eyes, we could touch, feel, and sense base jumping on Mars, like right now, or in another dimension, or we can literally see, feel, and experience the people that are around, whether it's the world, another dimension, another galaxy. That has nothing to do with the fact that in order to workshop our souls to something better. What if it isn't about like, wait, what's our past? Like what if the recovery in our full consciousness has nothing to do with the rules or the things that we promised whomever or ourselves or whatever contract we've done? What if the process isn't to remember that part? What if the process is to achieve the connection, not by remembering the past,
the connection
to source, to ether, to the dimensions of conscious living? What if it isn't about recovery? It's about the knowings of, like, right now, if I could close my eyes and reach out and experience my entity, my essence being present in a faraway galaxy, on a faraway planet, and faraway people. What if that is an ability that can only be remembered or rebooted or achieved by not remembering, oh, I have this soul contract about this, that, or the other, or, you know, whatever I've said to myself to get to this life has nothing to do. We need that deleted.
So I'm not referring to remembering a soul contract. I'm just referring to remembering what we are and where we come from. Like, I'm not referring to remembering the soul contract is just like, you know, when I think about what we're doing here and how all of this is working, maybe that's a possibility. Like, maybe it's a possibility that we signed some sort of a contract where we just sliced all of this, like, a la carte menu stuff and like put it on there and said, you know, in order to evolve, like, I just need to do this and this and this and this and this. Like, I don't know. But in reality, it's not, I don't think that that's the goal of remembering isn't to remember. It's remembering who we are and where we come from. It's not necessarily what our individual purpose here on the planet is.
I apologize. Yeah, I wasn't trying to correct you or think of to divert where you.
Oh yeah. No. I know. I'm just saying, like, I just to be clear, like, I think that overall the question of existence is who we are and where do we come from, and so the seeking is answered in religion. In a lot of you know, situations, it's like when we're seeking for that answer, we answer it with religion, whether it's, you know, Christianity or Buddhism or, you know, Hinduism, whatever it is. You know, like we're that's the way that we tend to answer that question when we were looking for the answer of where we come from, who we are, and what the purpose is.
I think you're right on. I think you're right on with it. I just, your commentary on it just led me to think of, like, wow, what if we're really, like, what if one of the things we're not supposed to know, if that's just my thought process, I'm like, well, what if all of the points of what you're making and developing ourselves as an individual or a spirit or a entity within the universe, I'm like, crap, what if one of the only ways to do it is to not ever be able to
know
the prior stuff?
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Like when I think about Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or all of these deities, right? So I'm thinking about all of these people and their experiences on the planet, and what they came here to do, and their experiences here, and just what we're like outside of religion, but just these people. They were actual real people here that had an experience on the planet, right? That came to do a thing. And I think to myself, like, what if, I don't know, like, I think that they all accepted that they're never going to know. And I think maybe that is where we are flawed in our seeking, is the lack of acceptance, and maybe we're just not going to know. I think that we accept that we're not going to know. It doesn't stop us from seeking.
Yeah.
But I don't know that our human brains have the capacity to handle the full truth of all that is.
This is what dovetails into collective consciousness. What you just stated is, I think that's true. However, when enough people wake up, you and I individually do not have the bandwidth, not to handle a connection individually,
right,
but collectively, yes, we can.
Which is so exciting, because so that's so exciting, that thought. So the more of us that wake up, and the more collective expansion we experience, right? Then the more we can plug in and see. Mm-hmm. The more we can see the truth. The more we can see beyond the veil. So wake up. Right. So for everyone out there, it's a great experience leaving the cave. So you leave the cave and you look back and you do the thing, and it's like, hey, come out and experience the light, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that's it. And you just nailed it. Like, let's come out of the cave. Let's experience the joy and the light of existence and what we're supposed to be doing here, which is maybe just existing. Like, maybe it doesn't have to be work. Maybe it doesn't have to be hard. Maybe it doesn't have to be like a struggle all the time, because I don't think it does. And I think that some of us, a lot of us, attract the, I don't want to be too pointed, negative experiences that we experience. Can you say that? Negative experiences that you experience? You're
self-editing really well. I don't want to stop you.
Okay, thanks. So back to manifesting and attracting. Our experience here on the planet, not just the collective experience, but the individual experience. Mm-hmm. I think that it's just this cycle, this feedback loop of experience. Mm-hmm. And as you grow and evolve and experience, and I grow and evolve and experience, then we raise the collective. It grows and evolves. And as it raises, it pulls us up together. So it's just this loop of, so all of the people that are fighting against the awakening that's happening, eventually they're just going to have to give in.
Okay.
Don't you feel that? Don't you feel the coming of the awakening? Don't you feel like the movement, the change, the shift in consciousness? Do you feel it, or is it just me?
No, I think it's something that has already it's always existed. And I think that when you are within time and space where you are personally aware, I think what happens is that you can plug into some of that to clarify, to focus a little more, to be a little more in tune with everything, right? Mm-hmm. But the greatest, biggest picture would be for all of us to be able to amplify all the questions, all the answers would come back with more clarity. Mm-hmm. If we had that collective ability, but we don't. We seem to be distracted by, well, a million different things. So in order to do it, and then...
Do you think that's intentional? That Distraction.
For a long time, in a lot of different levels and ways, whether it's a secret organization or aliens. That's one of our takes. I finally worked it in. Yeah. So we can blame it or assign responsibility to other humans or other aliens or things, dimensions, whatever we want to, consciousness. We can assign it to whomever we want. The reality is that I think it's a much more complicated answer. It's a much more poignant. We cannot do this without all of us. I think all of us matter. I think this might be a little mind blowing. I literally think that every human being, whether they're homeless, it doesn't matter if you're smart, it doesn't matter if you're young, it doesn't matter if you're old. I think the key, the skeleton key to total awareness and consciousness is to be able to gather. And by the way, as shepherds, why is there an analogy of the shepherd with the flocks and all that? I think total of all living humans, collective awareness and consciousness is the shepherds to all other existing life within this system. So for all the bacterial and fungal networks in trees and simple systems, single cell amoebas, I think that when a complex entity like ourselves is fully collectively aware we are shepherds, I have a feeling, be able to, not in some romantic way, I believe that whatever is required to tune in all of existence for us to not just be in harmony with our day-to-day life, but to people that ask very, very, maybe you might want to call it a 3D question at that point. If we're collectively conscious, can we say, how do we shake hands with the creator of the universe? Or how do we can we see it? Are we aware of it? Can we feel it? Can we sense it? I think if we were collectively aware, we were like, holy crap, we got like 80% of it or 60% of it or 50% of it.
Right.
But we're also aware of all these other living entities now that we can now communicate with. Mm-hmm. So if we tune these animals and trees and all the things that are just barely conscious, if they're all tuned up too, if they're all part of like
what does that look like though?
Well, that's the thing. I think that on a superficial level, it could be like the Garden of Eden. It could be everything's in bloom and winter's pretty and snow melts and we don't have to plow it. And it could be really, really materialistic in a way, in the sense of, think of a Zen Japanese garden. Like imagine if it doesn't mean about, for some people, they might vision very clean or they might vision sterile. Other people might think of it as very peaceful. So whatever you in your own mind think of as peaceful, and whatever you think of individually as peaceful, calm, home, that space may be different for all those spectrums and the band of all living things that can mean different things. Mm-hmm. So if we could, in some sort of universal beat, like a binaural beat, but a universal beat, if we could harmonize that with everything, is that the structure and framework to ultimate total complete bliss of existence? Is it getting all living systems to be in that kind of
equilibrium, homeostasis, perfection? Well, I think it is, right? Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like, wouldn't heaven to you feel like we all love each other, we all get along, everything is beautiful, nothing dies, everything blooms beautifully, the sun is out, and then it rains when we want it to, and you know what I mean? Like, doesn't that sound great? That sounds wonderful. It sounds great.
I'll tell you what heaven should be.
I mean, it sounds like heaven, and that I think is, yes, like that's what we're striving for. And I think that this just occurred to me.
Yeah.
That there's a certain religion that we don't discuss. But, you know, there is this way to get to this one place that's heaven. But maybe the goal is not for us to strive to live a certain way so that we can get to that place. Maybe the goal is for us to figure out how to make that place here. What if the goal is not for us to live this perfect life, die, and go to this perfect place? But what if the actual goal is for us to figure out how to live in harmony together?
One, you're right. And there's a reference I will reference. It's so weird. This comes up in phases, but John Piper, he's a very famous living Calvinist and wrote a book that got made into a movie, The Passion of the Christ. But
which is so hard. I cried like a baby.
Everyone did.
Oh my God.
It was awful and it was great. But it was
beautiful and so hard. Like I said, I think I cried and needed therapy after that. But
I think everyone did. I was fortunate enough to I went to hear him for a couple of years.
Wow.
Because he's based out of Minneapolis.
Good for you.
Yeah, so it was a very interesting thing because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know, and so when I went, it was because of someone else, and I got to hear him speak every Sunday, and very fascinating human being, sure. Right? But I'm bringing this up just so that everyone should go look up John Piper on his website. I believe it'd be Bethlehem Baptist, but the reason is to tie into exactly what you're saying. He did a whole sermon about the biblical references for heaven being a restored earth. That's not somewhere in the sky. He goes, literally, it's black and white. It's heaven is a restored earth. So that is a biblical, scriptural, actual thing and again, so for those that care or want to look as another reference point, the whole point is that there isn't an esoteric somewhere or place to go. It's literally the earth, literally as you just described. And so there are serious references for exactly what you're referencing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And because this is your birthday, you have the last few minutes to wherever we're going to go.
No, I think this is it. We've already gone over time by 7 minutes.
Oh, so I apologize.
This has been a fantastic birthday. Thank you to all those that have joined me on my birthday.
Yeah.
And we will be back next Wednesday when it is apparently still my birthday.
Yes, it will be. And we will. So until next week.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.